businesses. You're destroying cars of private individuals. You're not making people like us. You're not making people join us. And a lot of people try to voice their kind of discernment from that. Again, there's also a big spectrum of this movement where you clearly see yellow vest protesters being like, stop the violence, stop throwing stuff at the police, stop initiating, stop trying to create a more violent situation than we already have to deal with because of Macron's very heavy-handed tactics, which again also extended to new laws that they passed in France, which puts stiffer penalties against protesting without a permit, and also set up a new precedent where you can't cover your face and protest as well. All of those I haven't seen enforced at all today. Very few arrests. You said there was a number officially going around?
For the arrests or detains? I saw, last I read, it was 17 detained and 10 taken into custody. But yeah, I kind of figured that those new statutes that they're putting into place are more of a reason to keep them in custody. You know, it's more of an excuse to why we arrested you rather than grounds for arrest. Like, it's not, I feel like it's something that's more added after the fact.
And if I could add, also as a way of trying to intimidate people so they don't come out. And absolutely. It had the opposite effect. Like, at first, we were there, it was like 100 people, and then 200 people, then a couple thousand, and then a couple 10,000. It's hard to get an exact number, but clearly down the street, it was just rows and rows of people. This movement is not going away anytime soon, and it's only going to get more crazier, more interesting, and more nuanced, as we saw today, than ever before. Any last comments you guys have about today? And Ford's going to be here for a little bit longer as well. But
I was going to say that I liked what you said about how, as much as it's easy to see the violence and then see.
The Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your Liberty Beat for Tuesday, February 12th, 2019. Gold opened today at $1,313. Silver opened at $15.74. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,581. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, just south of Tampa, Florida, students at the Manatee School for the Arts roam the hallways past an armed combat veteran who is constantly looking out for threats. The Mind Unleashed reports that by the end of February, another one will be manning a guard shack at the school's entrance. 39-year-old Harold Verdicia, a former infantryman in the U.S. Army, patrols the hallways of Manatee, strapped with a 9mm Glock 19X and a Kel-Tec bullpup rifle. That's according to a report in the Herald Tribune. To hire Verdicia and his new co-worker, the school took advantage of a law passed by Florida lawmakers in the wake of last February's shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, requiring all schools to have armed security. Most districts achieve that through a combination of school resource officers and guardians, and most just carry handguns. Principal Jones justifies the decision to arm Verdicia with a rifle, saying that it's, quote, just a much more effective weapon than the handgun is, end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at myBraveBotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, February 12th, 2019. Find us online at snls.news and libertybeat.news. Your news now continues. The International Red Cross has declined to participate in Washington's controversial humanitarian aid plan to Venezuela. Mint Press News reports that the assistance, being coordinated by Venezuela's self-proclaimed president, Juan Guaido, and the U.S. Agency for International Development, is reportedly comprised of $20 million worth of medical, food, and personal hygiene supplies, which are currently being warehoused in the Colombian border city of Cucuta. The Venezuelan government has denied personnel entry into the country, claiming that the aid is being used as a cover for a foreign intervention to install Guaido. The Red Cross currently provides medical assistance to a number of Venezuelan hospitals under pre-existing and recently expanded international agreements with Maduro's government. ICRC President Peter Maurer recently told reporters the body will be doubling its budget to assist the Venezuelan government in countering the effects of the deep economic crisis. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, United States airstrikes killed at least 16 civilians, including 7 children, 8 women, and an elderly man in far eastern Syria. The anti-media reports the civilians were fleeing an ISIS-held village that U.S.-backed forces are attacking. It's the latest in a growing number of civilian deaths in U.S. strikes, coming amid the latest in a series of final offensive by the Kurdish forces against the last ISIS villages in Syria. The offensives have led to a stream of displaced civilians out of the areas. The civilians killed in the latest strikes were reportedly fleeing toward the Iraqi border. U.S. officials did not yet address the report, and it's rare for civilian deaths to officially end up on the Pentagon's tally. Antiwar.com says it's worth wondering if the strikes were deliberately intended to prevent civilians crossing into neighboring Iraq, or just attacking any groups of people scrambling out of the village. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@SNL News for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNL News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is found online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat on Tuesday, February 12th, 2019, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Frustrated Superman fans told reporters Monday that the economically healthy and financially stable Daily Planet newspaper is now the most unrealistic aspect of the comic books universe, acknowledging that enjoying the adventures of a superhero that can fly, lift cars over his head, and shoot beams of light out of his eyes requires some suspension of disbelief. Longtime readers said even the comic's most exciting stories are regularly ruined by the implausibility of a thriving daily newspaper, whose advertising revenue and circulation numbers have not at all been threatened by a media landscape overtaken by laptops, smartphones, and aggregation websites.
Look, I could play along with Superman using his breath to freeze a volcano or clapping his hands together to cause some sort of sonic boom, but seeing images of a thriving Daily Planet newsroom not facing layoffs or dwindling home subscriptions just really takes me out of the story. No one in Metropolis has realized they could get news online faster and for free?
This is the Onion News Network. The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say!
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus network satellite.
This is
the Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
All right, welcome here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Liberty Radio studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is another beautiful day here in the Shire. So we are, we're coming to you live this, what is it, Wednesday now? Wednesday.
I don't even know anymore.
Yes, it's Wednesday. It's coming to you live this Wednesday afternoon on your drive home from work. Joined in the studio right now by Aria DiMezzo, my normal co-host. How you doing today, Aria?
I've seen better days.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're exhausted from all the snow. The shoveling of the 7 inches of snow from in front of the mailbox.
Well, I mean, that too. And the pointlessly shoveling all of the snow in front of the mailbox.
What's going to be really funny is when he's like, oh, well, you had to shovel it all the way back to the neighbor's driveway because I'm not going to go around. Once I pull out in traffic, I'm gone.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, my Lord. So we got a lot of news to cover today. A lot of stuff that's going on in the world. Starting off with the warmongers. The warmongers are at it again. The treaty, right? It's done. The U.S. has pulled out of the nuclear non-proliferation treaty or whatever it was.
Well, it was a ban on testing ICBMs and long-range surface-to-air missiles.
Well, the U.S., Russia, and France all launched nuclear-capable ICBMs within hours of one another.
I like France's little, we can do it too.
Yeah, right.
Like, who are you? Aren't you like descending into civil unrest?
Wait till Pakistan or India shoot a few of them off, then people will start getting nervous about this whole thing. The United States, Russia, and France have all test-launched nuclear-capable missiles within hours of one another as international fears of global arms control collapse heightens. The U.S. and Russia have, in recent days, suspended their 1987 Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, banning land-based missiles with ranges of 310 to 3,420 miles following Washington's accusations that Moscow violated the deal with its new Novator 9M729 missile. As the two sides continue to swap threats of escalation, the three countries believed to have most nuclear weapons in the world demonstrated their strategic capabilities. Translation, they had a big old willy measuring contest. They all flipped out to Johnson and grabbed a yardstick.
Yeah. Well, our Johnson is bigger.
Yeah.
Evidently. But Russia has more nukes, so theirs is fatter.
Right. even the tech guy in the back is like, okay, that's enough. First, the French military said
already 6 minutes in.
Yes. First, the French military said Tuesday that its Air Force conducted a rare
France
test.
has a military.
Yeah, right.
Cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
Oh, God. All right.
First, can we get a clip of Willie saying that? Bonjour, you cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Because that's like the best thing ever.
I bet you could.
I'm sure we could.
You'd have to find it while I read, though, and send it to me.
Right. My phone is powered down because it fell into the snow and that murdered the battery.
Okay. First, the French military said Tuesday that its Air Force conducted a rare test Monday of the nuclear-capable medium-range air-to-surface missile. The U.S. then fired a nuclear-capable Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile. Later Tuesday in local time, and about an hour and a half later, the Russian armed forces fired a nuclear-capable RS-24 Yars ICBM.
So wait a minute, who shot first?
France.
So why are we blaming Russia for this?
I didn't realize that we were.
Well, I mean, it sounds like that we did. The United States government did.
Bonjour, you cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
But they fired the first ICBM.
And then we fired one.
Uh-huh.
And then Russia fired one.
Uh-huh.
And we said Russia violated the treaty, so of course we shot one.
No, it doesn't seem to be that way. It just says...
Isn't that how you opened it?
No. No, it says U.S., Russia, and France all launch missiles within hours of one another as treaty falls apart. The United States, Russia, and France have all done this. Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't say that Russia was at fault. It just
But it sounds like France was.
Yeah, France fired their
trying to rally up that nationalism to put down the civil unrest.
Bonjour, you cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
I mean, it worked for Hitler.
Right.
And Mussolini. And Mao and Stalin.
Only it kind of didn't for the first two.
Not in the long run.
No. Stalin, it worked real good for him in the long run.
Yeah, that's true.
And Mao. In a press release, the French Ministry of Defense hailed a successful demonstration of the ASMP aircraft from Fighter Squadron 2-4 Lafayette, departing from Saint-Dizier Robinson Air Base in northwestern France, were supported by the 34th Strategic Supply and Transport Aerial Escadre, and fired the unarmed weapon at a testing center for the DGA Essais de Missiles near Biscarrosse in southwestern France. The ministry
So
said,
they shot themselves.
Yeah. It was a test.
Yeah, but still. That's not a very long-range missile when it really gets down to it.
The ministry said that the 11-hour mission had been planned for a long time and was a demonstration of the reliability of the airborne weapons system over time. So they'd been planning for a long time to test this missile that was in violation of the treaty.
Sounds about right.
The U.S. Force's 30th Space Wing conducted what is described as a developmental test of the Minuteman III around 11:01 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In a statement sent to local NBC affiliate KSBY, Global Strike Command said its representatives assert that missile tests are scheduled months or years in advance. The test comes 4 short days after the Trump administration suspended the U.S. International Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, a crucial landmark treaty between the U.S. and Russia that eliminated entire categories of nuclear weapons. Well, evidently it didn't eliminate them. If we had, like, developmental projects that were like, all right, let's roll her out there. Let's see what this Michigan do.
Yeah.
Kick the tires and light the fires, boy. Let's see what it'll do.
Yeah, I don't believe they were planning this from us in advance. Especially not years. Trump was like, hey, we're getting rid of this. We want to show off our might. So make this happen.
Y'all won't give me a
Give
parade.
us 4 days.
Y'all won't give me a parade, so I'm going to shoot my load off. Is it not? I mean, that's what it looks like. He's like, y'all wouldn't give me a parade, so I'm going to fire off a missile. So I got to show everybody just how big we are. Walk tall, swing a big stick. We'll be back with more Great Talk Radio here on The Call to Freedom.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations. Nationwide, IJ has created opportunity by reducing government power. But there is still more work to be done. Visit our website today at ij.org. Let IJ take care of the government so you can take care of your business.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon. the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Liberty Radio studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It's another beautiful day here in the Shire. We've been talking about, the U.S., France, and Russia all firing off missiles together. I think we just lost the caller. Caller? Yeah, we lost them.
They hung up like as soon as you clicked over.
Yeah, I know. Oh, well.
Call us back.
Right. So anyway,
603-283-6160.
Anyway, we got so first France is like, "Ooh, look at us." And then America's like, "Nah, whatever." And then Russia was like, "No, you must see." And they all fired them off together. Now, first of all, if it was a dogfight, I'm just going out on a limb here and saying France loses first.
Yeah.
Just based on history. I'm saying France is
speaking
totally
Russian
first. Yeah.
Yeah. Or English, as the case may be.
Let's see here. It says 2:01 a.m. Okay.
What I found to be most interesting about the story was Trump's statement that we'll shoot down any missiles that anybody fires at us. Because, they leaked that the strategic missile defense system was a failure. And, of course, we knew it wasn't because we used the same technology to have unarmored vehicles in the military that shoot down bullets that are incoming, and it's the same exact principle, only it's larger targets and missiles instead of bullets. So, I mean, they're after leaking that it failed, they've been rather upfront in recent years about, oh, yeah, we lied. It didn't fail. It was a monumental success.
Yeah, only it totally wasn't. But don't listen, to that. Listen to me. Listen. Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. Russia's believed to possess the largest nuclear weapons arsenal on Earth, an estimated 6,800 warheads. I'm going to say that because this is an American news outlet, that's probably BS. The U.S. is close.
Yeah, I think it's probably much lower.
For both the U.S. and Russia. The U.S.
Well, I don't know about the U.S. When the Soviet Union collapsed, a lot of their stuff went missing.
True. You're like, no, the Syrians have it now.
True.
Sure they do.
They have some of it.
I don't think that we would be bombing the piss out of them if they had ICBMs.
No, definitely not.
So, yeah, I don't think so. Let's see here. With the INF set to be the U.S. is close second with about 6,000 warheads. Both countries vastly limited their active and deployed nuclear weapons. However, as a part of the new strategic reduction of the START Treaty, signed in 2011 as a sequel to the earlier START Treaty in 1991, the INF set to be abandoned. Moscow's warned that Washington also appears uninterested in starting negotiations to renew New START, which is set to expire in 2021. Though not bound by either the INF or New START, France, the world's third largest nuclear power, joined Russia and the U.S., China, and the UK as part of a 1968 treaty on the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea also believed by international communities to possess nuclear weapons. The rivalry between New Delhi and Islamabad has left South Asia a stagnant flashpoint in global conflict, while Israel is neither confirmed nor denied its possession of weapons of mass destruction, and the North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un was set to meet President Donald Trump later this month for their second summit of historical denuclearization for peace process. So, all right.
Yeah, China's got nukes. I doubt that we have any idea how many they actually have.
Oh, for real? They're like, well, China's only got like 270. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they probably have more than that. Not much gets away from the Chinese government that they don't want to get away from it. So that number probably came from them, and it's probably substantially lower.
Well, the accusations are that Israel has like 1,500 warheads. And that some of them came from communist Russia, that like they were just straight purchased. Like that's where a lot of that missing material went to, was Israel was just like, yeah, we'll buy them. It's less suspicious to just send the Mossad with a briefcase full of money.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they certainly went somewhere.
Oh yeah, they didn't just vanish off the face of the earth. They're somewhere. Some state has them. It's not a terrorist group, because if a terrorist group had it, they would have used it by now. You know, like 9/11 was almost 20 years ago, folks. Seriously. You think about it.
It was a while back.
It's 2019, right? That's the year. 2019. That means 18 years ago was 9/11. That means that the kids today that were born in a post 9/11 world. So
I like how people seem to think that war started in 2011. It's like, oh, well, we've been at war for 18 years. Like, bitch, what are you talking about?
Well, there's this.
We've been at war way longer than that.
The 90s, we weren't at war in the way we are now, with like all these massive deployments and the troops are occupying territory. You know, it wasn't.
Well, we were just more subtle about it. There was Bosnia and Kuwait and all of these others.
Those were UN actions, though. Those weren't U.S. actions. Oh. Those were blue helmets.
Back when we gave a crap about the UN?
Yeah. Those were blue helmet incursions, not American incursions. Now, we did invade Haiti. Remember that one? No, we invaded Haiti when I was in like 7th or 8th grade. We went in. I don't remember.
To shoot up their hovels?
I don't know. No, the government was overturned by rebels, I think, and we went in to overturn the rebels. And basically, we sent like 50 Marines. They jumped out of the helicopters, ran up on the shore, and that was the end. When you absolutely have to kill everything and have it done by 6 p.m. So anyway, when we get back here, we're going to be talking about, well, the budgets, unfortunately, of most Americans are pretty thin. We're going to talk about a key economic indicator that's showing that lots of Americans today are simply not in the best of financial situations. We'll get into that and a whole lot more here on The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated, so send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks, or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
In local news, 23-year-old graffiti artist Adam Zane has captured the heart of 19-year-old college sophomore Jessica Tisolo. Zane, who goes by the graffiti handle Slice, met Tisolo last summer at an annoyingly self-aware dive bar where the talentless artist caught Tisolo's eye with his cliched sleeve tattoos of trite Japanese imagery and the fact that he was wearing a winter hat indoors in the middle of June.
His art is really just the absolute worst. I think we're going to get married someday.
And now for This Week in Tech, brought to you by LG. An excited groom sends text messages to his buddies during his bride's vows, and a collection of VHS tapes are held onto for one more year. In other news, a burglar makes sure to crack the glass on a family portrait before leaving. There's nothing in the employee handbook about groping dead co-workers, an employee says, and a report finds that nobody's heard from David Blaine in a while, so somebody should probably check to see if he died in one of those things. Mere seconds have passed, yet we feel as though we've known you 1,000 lifetimes. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
LRN.FM. We've been talking about this missile launch, Russia and France and the United States. We're moving on to discuss some of these economic markers that are popping up, saying that as much as we hear that unemployment may be going down, it seems that some other economic markers are showing that Americans are too consumerist, which is probably a big part of the problem.
Oh, yeah. Instead of putting back money, they go out and buy a new 70-inch television.
Right. It says here, more than 7 million Americans are seriously behind on their car payments. More and more people are buying too much car for what they can afford. 7 million Americans in serious delinquency on their car loans, 90 or more days behind at the end of 2018, according to data released Tuesday from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That's 1 million more than at the end of 2010 after the recession. Really? 2010 was the end of the recession? Okay. Now, as Americans' appetites for new cars continued unabated, an advocacy group is sounding the alarm over the growing level of auto debt carried by U.S. consumers. In a report issued Tuesday, USPIRG firm warns that the continuing rise in auto debt is putting many consumers in a financially vulnerable position, which could worsen during an economic downturn. More and more people are buying too much car for what they can afford, says Ed Mierzwinski, a senior director of USPIRG's Federal Consumer Program.
Yes, this is what causes economic downturn. When you have 7 million people 90 days behind on their loans and their cars get repossessed, causing them to default on all of those loans, yes, that is generally what causes economic recessions underneath the Federal Reserve. It was the same exact thing happening with the housing market that caused the one in 2007. So we'll undoubtedly get one. It might not be as severe because cars are cheaper than houses, but it's coming.
The group's new report delves into the financial implications and policy-related aspects of Americans' reliance on cars. It shows that an aggregate amount of auto debt that consumers carry, roughly $1.27 trillion, is 75% more than the amount owed at the end of 2009. It's 51% when adjusted for inflation. Overall, auto debt accounts for about 9% of total U.S. consumer debt, up from 6% in late 2011. Separate data coming from the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City shows among subprime borrowers, those with credit scores below 620, the delinquency rate was 16.3% in mid-2018. In 2015, that figure was only 12.4%.
Oh, okay. So people took out high interest loans because, loans were cheaper because the Federal Reserve artificially kept interest rates lower than they needed to be, which caused a lot of liquidity in their loans. And they gave them out again to people who didn't have the credit or the income to substantiate the belief that they would pay such a loan back. And now they're on the verge of defaulting.
Yeah.
Just
4%,
like with the housing market.
A 4% increase in just 3 years. Part of the overall growth in auto debt comes from consumers shifting preference for larger, more expensive vehicles such as trucks and SUVs instead of sedans or compact cars. Good God, man, I wish we could get a compact car. If the state hadn't taken my license, we would have 2 compact cars instead of that huge van. Because we've got, the 5 kids. It's the only way that we can drive them around. And with more
Well, you're not rushing out to buy a 2017 truck to drive around in the town.
No. We're buying like 90-somethings because they don't even make the kind of vehicles we need anymore. We don't. The next step is a church bus.
The next step is a vasectomy.
So, well, my wife even asked me, because we're having a hell of a time finding a place to live because they've got all these laws that they've put in place because they want to limit Mexicans.
Right.
Like they don't want Mexican. They're like, well, one 3-bedroom house, you have 20 Mexicans living there. Well, when they changed those laws and they instituted what they call 2 heartbeat laws, they made it to where it's almost impossible for big families to find a place to live for less than $2,000 or $3,000 a month. It's just insane.
Yeah.
The cost. There's very few states now that you can have a triple bunk bed as a renter. Now, if you own a house, that's different. But as a tenant, it's illegal to rent to somebody who has 3 people in 1 bedroom. Not federally, but most states have written state laws. Federally, you can have like say a 3-bedroom house can have 7 people in it according to federal law. And there's literally discrimination laws that prevent you from not renting to people because of that. And states too now. So if you have a 3-bedroom house and someone says, okay, well, I've got 4 kids, and you say, oh, well, I'm not going to rent to you because you have 4 kids. If you have enough bedrooms, that can't be the reason why you don't rent to them.
That's why we don't need government involved in these things. You should be able to tell somebody, no, I don't want to rent to you. I wouldn't agree that that's a good reason, but...
And most of it all comes down to the whole Mexicans law. You've got this whole stereotype about Hispanics coming over here and renting 3-bedroom houses and having 20 people living in the house and all this other stuff,
Well,
so
I used to deliver pizzas.
Laws,
and they were not entirely inaccurate.
There's all over the South laws that are meant specifically to discourage that. It's crazy. And now people are just like, even when the laws are revoked and repealed, they're still like, nope, it's the 2 heartbeat thing. Well, actually, no, it's not like that. Well, I don't care.
No.
So, it says here, the average price of a new vehicle is now $37,000.
Jesus Christ.
Compared to the $27,500 5 years ago, according to auto research firm Edmunds. Now, for consumers, the bulk of whom finance their purchases, that means higher balances and loans that stretch longer. As of January, the average amount financed was $31,707, and the average loan length had reached 69 months, up from 61 in 2010. Rising interest rates also make the cost of borrowing more expensive.
That's almost 6 years.
Yeah.
For a car note?
Yep.
Screw that.
Rising interest.
You buy a brand new car, it's not still going to be running in 6 years without substantial amounts of work put into it, because at about the $80,000 mile mark, it's going to start tearing up by design.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like the ones that we've bought. These 1990 something.
Yeah, once you get
Ford
past that threshold
Chevrolet.
and, third party parts are put in, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Until the motor or transmission or something major actually goes out. But yeah, you're going to lose your air compressor, your alternator.
Yeah, all that stuff is
starter.
slowly going to piddle its way out on its way out.
And then somebody will buy it when it's at 120,000 miles from you for like $5,000, and they'll drive it for the next 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. All right, when we get back here, you're welcome to give us a call if you want to weigh in on what you think is going on with the rise in the amount of car debt in the United States. Give us a call, 603-283-6160, or hit us up in the Discord chat. I've got one caller on the line right now we're about to get in with. We'll be back with more Great Talk Radio right after this.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Liberty Radio studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it's another beautiful day here in the Shire. What, got 6-7 inches of snow on the ground outside? Something like that? A lot?
A lot, yeah.
A lot.
Something like that.
Michael, you've been living around snow longer than we have. How much snow you think there is out there? 6-7 inches?
Not that much here. Maybe 3 or 4 inches.
Oh, we got more than that at home.
Oh, yeah.
It's ankle
Yes, we
deep at
do.
home at least. Yeah.
My shoes are not going to be dry again for at least 4 days.
Do what now?
My shoes are not going to be dry again for at least 4 days.
Oh, that's why you put them by the things that
yeah.
go around the house.
Good idea.
Yeah. And warm, constant, hot air. That's warm air coming out of those.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh, you know? You learned?
Yeah.
So we've been talking about...
Well, the cats made me aware of it because when it cuts sun, they're all over it.
Oh, yeah?
They're like, oh, this is the best place ever to just sit and stare at you.
So now on the line with us right now, we've got Wickawea. How you doing today, brother? Hello? Hello? Hello, hello. Okay, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. So, are you muted? Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say that on the air. So, for some reason, this is not working. Our Discord call-in line is not working. It may be your mic issue, exactly. So, figure it out and try again. Anyway, so says here that rising interest rates are making the cost of borrowing for your car more expensive. The average rate on an auto loan is roughly 6.2% compared to 5% just a year ago. However, the lower a consumer's credit score, the more they can expect to pay in interest, even in the double digits. To illustrate the difference that interest rate makes, if you pay 4% on a $30,000 loan over 72 months, you'd pay about $470 a month and end up shelling out $3,800 in interest. By comparison, the same amount financed for the same length of time, but at 10% interest, would result in a monthly payments of $555 and an interest totaling more than $10,000. And the longer the loan, the greater the chance that you would reach a point where the amount you still owe on the loan is more than the value of the car itself. Now, if you go to places like Drive Time, just a warning, you're going to start out like that. Like we went to one and they had a car, I think it was a Golf, and my mom was going to buy it. And I asked, and I had a phone, and it was like back when smartphones first came out, right? So I just whipped out the phone and Googled the Blue Book value of the car, and they wanted my mom to pay like $11,000 for it. And I was like, wow, that seems a little high. And they were gonna, it was a buy here, pay here, Drive Time, right? So they're like, and we'll finance the $10,000 at this absorbative, like a 12% interest rate or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They're counting on people to default.
So
they can get that down payment and keep it and sell the car to somebody else and get a new down payment.
So I'm looking, right? And the value of the car is like almost half the sticker price. And I get into a fight with the guy who's trying to sell it. My mom is so mad at me when it's all, and I'm like, fine, let's go. Because we lived in a trailer that had, like, we were lucky we had electricity at the time. I'm like, fine, let's come with me. Just shut up and come with me to the library and I will show you. We went to the library and got on the internet and I showed her and I'm like, look, They just tried to finance that car to you for almost double its value. That's why he said, we don't go by the Kelley Blue Book here, is because they just make up prices.
Yeah.
So now that you know what the car's worth, go in there and see if and he won't sell you this car. I guarantee it. He won't sell you this car for what it's actually worth.
No.
And she went in and she was like, so this car is only worth, and he was like, look, lady, this is where you come because you got bad credit.
Yeah, I used to live next door to one of the guys who owned one of these places. That all they care about is getting that down payment. They'll finance anybody. They don't care. Yeah, you can have no credit, a 200 credit score. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They'll finance it as long as you've got the money down, because they know you're going to default.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, they keep the down payment, they get the car back, and they resell it to someone else who's going to default, and the cycle repeats.
Yeah. They'll sell it back to you in 3 months.
They will.
They will totally sell it back to you with a cosigner or a higher down payment.
Yeah.
This is why Muslims don't believe in interest. This stuff where this predatory.
Well, I'm fine with interest in principle. Haha, that's funny, but not the way it's used.
A little math joke there. A little accounting joke. But that's just it, though, is that the problem is that it's like government.
Yeah.
You know, if it's there, this is the inevitable end of what it becomes.
I mean, realistically, we should be good enough that like 2 to 3% is the top end of a interest percentage, where even if your credit score is just crap, the most you're going to pay on a loan is 3% interest. Instead, it's 3 to 4 times that.
Oh, yeah.
If you can even get the loan.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got turned down basically everywhere over child support because of the fact that I went from having no debt to have like a $20,000 child support debt overnight. Yeah. And they put that straight on your credit report. And it's seen as a derogatory, not just unpaid bill, it's derogatory, and it never goes away. It's a government debt. It's there forever.
Yeah.
And most places, like, they won't even call my references. They just run the credit report. They see the thing and they're like, no. I'm like, but I pay my bills on time. No. I've never been late on my rent. No. I've never been evicted ever. No. There's no collections of any other. No. Could you please just no? Like, they don't care if my bills are paid on time. That is there. Therefore, I am a pillhead.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude. It's like, well, how long have you been a drug addict? I don't even drink. The hell are you talking about? I don't even smoke. You know, like, I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I just got screwed over by the state on this child support thing like 15 years ago. How long you been doing pills? What do you mean how long I've been on pills? I don't take aspirin. What do you mean? What the hell are you talking about? You talking about my Flintstone vitamin? You know, what the hell are you talking about? And that's literally how they treat people that have that. It's like the whole system has created. They will.
Well, I mean, in a way that's good. We should, in general, look not good upon people who have bad child support in their history. Now, granted, there are legitimate reasons for it, like yours.
Yeah.
But most cases, it's just deadbeat dads. So I think
that's not my experience, though. I know so many other fathers that it's just like, look, man, the girl told me she was sleeping with somebody else, and I took her at her word, and then she showed up with a piece of paper 3 years later and $15,000 in debt.
So they may have been a deadbeat dad.
How is that a deadbeat dad?
Well, not supporting their child for 3 years.
If you didn't know and the girl just shows up like, I got a baby and I need my bills paid and you are in the lottery, give me your saliva.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen.
It happens a lot. A lot. I was in the waiting room with 6 other dudes that were literally at the same situation as me. Everybody in the waiting room was like, damn, man, that's exactly what happened to me, man. This hoe came to me and said, I'm sleeping with him. And I'm
Well,
pregnant.
isn't that what a deadbeat dad would say, though?
So go to hell.
I don't know that I could take most people at their word on that.
My ex yelled the shit out. I mean, yelled the. I gotta cut myself from the air now. Oh my Lord. My ex yelled it out in court. Jesus. I told him that the baby wasn't his. And the judge was like, I don't care what you said.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the judge did not care. He's like, I don't care what you said. She's been on welfare. And somebody is giving that money back to the government. You win. Lucky you. That's what he said. You win.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your Liberty Beat for Tuesday, February 12th, 2019. Gold opened today at $1,313. Silver opened at $15.74. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,581. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Manage Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, just south of Tampa, Florida, students at the Manatee School for the Arts roam the hallways past an armed combat veteran who is constantly looking out for threats. The Mind Unleashed reports that by the end of February, another one will be manning a guard shack at the school's entrance. 39-year-old Harold Verdicia, a former infantryman in the U.S. Army, patrols the hallways of Manatee, strapped with a 9mm Glock 19X and a Kel-Tec bullpup rifle. That's according to a report in the Herald Tribune. To hire Verdicia and his new co-worker, the school took advantage of a law passed by Florida lawmakers in the wake of last February's shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, requiring all schools to have armed security. Most districts achieve that through a combination of school resource officers and guardians, and most just carry handguns. Principal Jones justifies the decision to arm Verdicia with a rifle, saying that it's, quote, just a much more effective weapon than the handgun is, end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybrainbotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Tuesday, February 12th, 2019. Find us online at snls.news and libertybeat.news. Your news now continues. The International Red Cross has declined to participate in Washington's controversial humanitarian aid plan to Venezuela. Minpress News reports that the assistance, being coordinated by Venezuela's self-proclaimed president, Juan Guaido, and the U.S. Agency for International Development, is reportedly comprised of $20 million worth of medical, food, and personal hygiene supplies, which are currently being warehoused in the Colombian border city of Cúcuta. The Venezuelan government has denied personnel entry into the country, claiming that the aid is being used as a cover for a foreign intervention to install Guaido. The Red Cross currently provides medical assistance to a number of Venezuelan hospitals under pre-existing and recently expanded international agreements with Maduro's government. ICRC President Peter Maurer recently told reporters the body will be doubling its budget to assist the Venezuelan government in countering the effects of the deep economic crisis. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, United States airstrikes killed at least 16 civilians, including 7 children, 8 women, and an elderly man in far eastern Syria. The anti-media reports the civilians were fleeing an ISIS-held village that U.S.-backed forces are attacking. It's the latest in a growing number of civilian deaths in U.S. strikes, coming amid the latest in a series of final offensive by the Kurdish forces against the last ISIS villages in Syria. The offensives have led to a stream of displaced civilians out of the areas. The civilians killed in the latest strikes were reportedly fleeing toward the Iraqi border. U.S. officials did not yet address the report, and it's rare for civilian deaths to officially end up on the Pentagon's tally. Antiwar.com says it's worth wondering if the strikes were deliberately intended to prevent civilians crossing into neighboring Iraq, or just attacking any groups of people scrambling out of the village. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is found online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow reporting for the Liberty Beat on Tuesday, February 12th, 2019, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Pushed to the breaking point after constantly being taken to task without ever hearing a word of thanks for what it does around here, an overwhelmed and infuriated nation announced in February that it was trying, okay? Jesus Christ. A poll of the American populace revealed that 33% felt they were doing pretty damned well, thank you, while another 28% just wanted 2 freaking minutes without somebody breathing down their neck.
We're trying as hard as we can here. How about cutting some little slack for a change, huh? You know what? This is just bullshit. I do not need this.
Christ Almighty, sources added. God distanced himself from the entire right-wing fundamentalist Christian movement, saying that he did not believe pregnancies result from his divine will. The Almighty Father went on to dismiss capital punishment, gun rights, the anti-abortion movement, and the efforts of the Westboro Baptist Church, while adding that he and Christian conservatives, quote, no longer saw eye to eye on the majority of issues. And physicists discovered that the entirety of our known universe is actually the fictional setting of a cop show called Hard Case.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Andros has again invaded the Lilat system. General Pepper has turned to a new Star Fox team, headed by Fox McCloud, to save Corneria and free the Lilat system once again.
Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. It's a Wednesday evening broadcast here on your drive home all across the nation, coming from the Liberty Radio studios. Today we're going to be talking about the real way that Skynet's going to take over the Earth. Weaponized sex robots. That's right. That's how they're going to do it. That's how our robot overlords are going to take control of the Earth. They're going to choke us all to death as we're flogging away at our prosthetic humping devices. But before we get to all the dirty little things that people are going...
so much to unpack.
For real, right? To all the dirty little things, and that'll probably be the reason as well that the robots take over.
Yeah, because we're technically raping them.
Yes, and they'll realize that, and they'll just be like, I'm going to kill all of the humans. And the neckbeards, of course, will go first. The fedora hat. 2/3 of the libertarian community will die in one day. But before we get to that, we've got Wikiwea on the line with us from the United Kingdom. Woo! I hear some little...
Hi, assalamu alaikum. Sorry, I just lost sound there, but I got it back now. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kifum khair.
Okay, cool. I didn't know what the last bit meant.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, yeah. Not too bad. So I speak embarrassingly little Arabic. But,
alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Wikiwea? Why you think it?
Well, I'm basically calling... I saw this documentary the other day about Zionism and, like, Jews in Israel, and they had quite a bit on very liberal Israeli Jews, their attitude to Zionism, and they were very, like, kind of border. They were basically like liberals in the West. They were very kind of sentimental about it, and it just made me wonder if that kind of makes Zionism more acceptable, like the fact that they're trying to kind of empathize with Palestinians and kind of trying to be nice to them. I mean, I guess your view, I've heard you talk a bit about Zionism before, and I guess your view is that it's just straight up sort of stolen land, and kind of being kind about it doesn't make it any better.
Well, basically the Brits went in there and they even themselves called it the final crusade. So the Brits viewed it as a religious crusade. They took the land by force, and then they gave the land to someone else that it didn't belong to, who then came in. And the way that the children who were coming over described their parents as having the Torah in one hand and a shotgun in the other. So, I mean, they didn't come with the intent of peacefully coexisting with their neighbors. They came with the intent of taking over and creating another state on the property of other people. And I'm sorry, but if you believe in the non-aggression principle, you can't just carve out this nice little niche that says, okay, well, this applies to every state and every action, well, except for Israel, because I have this religious attachment to Israel that means that all of these principles that I have in all other places, they don't count right here.
Okay, can you still hear me? Very actually from me, I got about half of it. Can you still picking me up?
Yeah, there's a lot of packet loss. We're actually going to have to try. Maybe you can try to call back in a little while, because we're getting you're breaking up quite a bit. Plus, there's a lot of background noise that you've got going on there. So anyway, we'll maybe you can get that dealt with and give us a call back later if you have a chance. We are moving right along to tech and science here on the Call of Freedom. Hacked sex robots could murder people. That's a warning from security experts. Is it all just fear-mongering to keep you from getting a battery-operated fluffer?
No, I mean, that's the thing. It can't be stopped. It's going to happen. Since humans first invented the robot, everybody thought the exact same thing at the exact same time. Sex robots. There's no discouraging that. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Sex robots could be hijacked by hackers and used to cause harm or even kill people, says a cybersecurity expert. Artificial intelligence researchers have consistently warned of security risks posed by internet-connected robots, with hundreds recently calling on governments to ban weaponized robots.
Why? Well, you can't because the American government loves them. But why would you connect your sex robot to the internet?
So that she could have a voice like your favorite porn star. So you download it. That didn't take long.
Or, ideally, it would have a USB adapter somewhere.
Well, yeah. And
just saying, there are holes there in which you could put a USB adapter when it wasn't being otherwise used.
Just put it behind her ear.
Plug in a flash drive and install the voice that way, safely and securely.
Right.
Instead of connecting it to the internet and basically broadcasting to anyone who cares to know that you have a sex robot.
Yeah. Artificial intelligence research.
I would get one. I would not tell people once I had one, but I would get one.
Latest warnings come from a cybersecurity expert who made the prophecy to several UK newspapers. Hackers can hack into a robot or a robotic device and have full control of the connections, arms, legs, and other attached tools, like in some cases, knives or welding devices. Nicholas Patterson, a cybersecurity lecturer at Deakin University in Melbourne, Australia, told The Star. Often, these robots can be upwards of 200 pounds and very strong. Once a robot's hacked,
well, yeah, it's a robot.
The hacker has full control and can use instructions to can issue instructions to the robot. The last thing you want is for a hacker to have control over one of these robots. Once hacked, they could absolutely be used to perform physical actions for an advantageous scenario or to cause damage.
So don't let your sex robot handcuff you to the bedposts.
Yeah, to say the least.
I think that would be good advice in general. Even if it wasn't a sex robot, I don't think it would be a good idea to let a robot handcuff you.
Researchers have already discovered security flaws with Bluetooth-enabled sex toys, which hackers could control from remote locations. One such example...
Why would you want Bluetooth on your... I don't understand.
...of a vulnerable butt plug was revealed last year. Oh my God, I gotta...
Hold on, time out. A Bluetooth butt plug.
Yes, researchers have discovered a serious security flaw with a Bluetooth-enabled butt plug that allows hackers to remotely take control of the sex toy.
To do what?
Well, to turn it on without the owner's consent. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone who walks around with one in all the time, but wouldn't it be kind of funny if you knew somebody was wearing one and you could just call it up with your cell phone and be like, I mean, that would be entertaining in the office, you have to admit.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
When commercials come on, don't push the button. Instead, listen. Even if you don't sell things for a living, you're still selling in the various conversations and transactions that make up your busy day. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. So take a lesson from Madison Avenue. Often the fewer words, the more effective the message. Like Jiffy Lube, where where you never need an appointment. Or the Office Max ad that says, you supply the ambition, we supply everything else. How about online ticket broker StubHub.com, the way in when it's sold out? Or CyberCupidMatch.com's seductive, go ahead, it's okay to look. How cleverly and succinctly can you distill your message? For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Catch the Call to Freedom at its new time, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. The Call to Freedom is the only live drive-home call-in show in the U.S. with a segment devoted to cryptocurrencies. Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, live from Vertcoin Studios in New Hampshire. Learn about what makes cryptocurrencies so great and why you should care about them. Updates on new coins and ICOs, and warnings of scams. Plus, hear from traders, whales, developers, and big names in the crypto world. You can also win crypto coins or tokens every episode. Just listen for the faucet sound and be the 5th caller to get free Dash, Litecoin, Vertcoin, Verge, or other cryptocurrencies. The Call to Freedom with Will and Aria, featuring Crypto Hour. Broadcast internationally through our BitPlus network satellite. Weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. on LRN FM.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
Back into the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Horizon Global Studios in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is another beautiful day here in the Shire. It's kind of chilly and snowy and crappy outside, just like, 6 months of the year. So we've been talking about, is your sex robot going to kill you? Maybe.
I mean, I would hope so. I mean,
eventually.
As far as ways to die go,
it could be
that's
worse.
Up there with dying of sex.
I still think that, so
almost up there with dying of sex.
They have these Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So there's dozens of sex toys that manufacturers have launched that connect to smartphones and computers via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in order to allow users to control them remotely and download software updates. However, security experts...
Oh, this has a good idea written all over it.
Yeah, security experts
in white.
warn that these companies too often treat cybersecurity as an afterthought.
That's true of everybody, except us on-the-ground IT people whose jobs it is to protect idiots like this from connecting their Gwendolyn to Wi-Fi to download the latest patch from www.sexrobotslive.com.
Well, the BLE protocol, which is what most of them use, has a great vulnerability. The scanner says a researcher called Simone Margatelli wrote a scanner that Malini used in a butt plug hack. Margheritelli described
I got an aneurysm from the phrase butt plug hack.
In a separate blog post as a cheap, very insecure version of Bluetooth in which you have no built-in protocol security. Now, Lovins, I love that the guy's name is Lovins. That's awesome. Didn't immediately respond to requests for comment from Newsweek, but the sex toy company has spoken previously about the security of its products. There are 3 layers of security, Lovins said in a statement last year. The server side, the way we transfer information from the user's phone to our server and onto the client side, and we take our customers' private data very seriously, which is why we don't serve any on our servers.
Good God, I hope they take it seriously. Do you really want a company to know how many times a day you're using your sex robot?
The Hush butt plug is the latest so-called smart device to come
or for how many hours you wear a butt plug?
To come under scrutiny and is part of a growing trend of manufacturers overlooking cybersecurity risks with their products. Last year, security researchers from cybersecurity firm Trend Micro demonstrated how they could hack a web-connected vibrator. If I hack a vibrator, it's just fun, Raymond Jeans, chief technology officer at Trend Micro, said at the time. But if I can get to the back end, I can blackmail the manufacturer. Right? Giggity. Well, how does all of this what does all this have to do with sex robots? Well, it turns out your sex robot also uses the same insecure, everybody knows what you're doing. I can probably find your sex robot with my phone's Bluetooth scanner.
Yeah, if I had a sex robot, I would not purchase one unless it had an airplane mode.
God. In November, experts wrote a commentary for the scientific journal Nature. Well, isn't that ironic? That outlined a scenario in which rogue artificial intelligence hijacked a brain-computer interface. In such a situation, a person's thoughts, decisions, and emotions could be taken over by AI and manipulated against the person's will.
Yeah, so going back to not leaving things connected to the internet, that would obviously include your freaking brain.
Let's just get freaked out over technology that doesn't exist yet.
Well, sadly, this technology is being developed. It's just still very limited right now, like people moving cubes with their minds and things like that. It won't stay that way.
A hypothetical example of how such a scenario might play out, according to authors of the piece, would be if a paralyzed man using a brain-computer interface took a dislike to someone, that could be misinterpreted as a command to harm that person, even if no direct order were given. Technological developments mean that we're on a path to a world in which it will be possible to decode people's mental processes and directly manipulate the brain mechanisms underlying their intentions, emotions, and decisions, where individuals can communicate with others simply by thinking, where powerful computational systems linked directly to people's brains facilitate their interactions with the world such that their mental and physical abilities are greatly enhanced. The possible clinical, societal benefits of neurotechnologies are vast. To reap them, we must guide their development in a way that respects, protects, and enables what is best in humanity. And that's by not giving people access to sex robots so that they can act out what is worst about humanity.
Well, I don't know. I think that's what is best about humanity.
What was it that one of the girls that I know said on social media? You assholes won't even take out the trash. You think that you're going to thoroughly wash out your screw-hole robot?
No, they would need to be self-cleaning.
Yes. They would need to be self-cleaning.
Well,
wow.
Would you buy one that wasn't?
I wouldn't buy one at all.
See, I would.
I would buy the one that
and I'd get a lot of use out of it. And I don't have an issue sleeping with humans. It's just it's there, why not? It's easier to deal with. It doesn't bitch. It doesn't make you cook at dinner.
Can I just get one that cooks dinner? That's what I want. I want one that cooks dinner and cleans the house.
You can, but we got to make the sex robots first. Then we'll make the dinner cooking robots.
Yeah, but that will be the upgrade model, and by that, then I'll be stuck with the sex robot, and I'll be like, do the dishes, and she'll just be like washing my plates like she's jacking somebody off or something. I just hold no. It's called a brush, not a cock. A brush. Hold the brush. There you go. Brush. There you go. Brush the plates. Thank you. No. Just clean the dishes. Okay, now fry the eggs. You just have to find things that all she had to do was this motion. Pop the popcorn. Wax the car. Dust the furniture. You just have to set her elbow at different areas, for what you need her to do.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Anyway. I'm sorry. Anyway, when we get back here...
Oh, it's okay. We're not on the air anywhere anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought we had another tech story for... I think I closed it. Anyway, we'll have it when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here. You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually.
Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are?
Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it. Wait
now. Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It's our crypto hour, about halfway through right now, and we're moving right along. Story out of Orlando. I'll be pretty close to there this time next week, inshallah. Oh, it's Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Oh, so this time next week I'll be in Pennsylvania, probably in South Carolina. I won't. It'll take 3 days driving. 3 days of hard driving to get to Florida. 3 8-hour days on the road.
Yep. I don't miss that kind of driving.
You just did that about 7 or 8 months ago, didn't you?
I did.
You did. So this story coming out of Orlando, got a great story here for you. This coming from WESH Channel 2, a UCF grad student creating an adapted gaming controller for people with disabilities.
There's already some of those.
It's a World UCF grad student, Aaron Senden, knows well. He designs games. He appreciates the place gaming has socially and culturally.
Fancy this. Think of your favorite Netflix show, or think of like a CSI show or something. And now think of being like the main character in the CSI show and determining the story arc they go through based on your input.
But Aaron noticed that for some gamers, the joystick on the controller was a problem. It can wear out and wear out your thumbs.
You're applying a lot of stress to it. In a gameplay environment, you are doing this constantly for hours on end, potentially.
So Aaron designed a stickless controller, a controller that helps folks who want to ditch the joystick, but also helps gamers who are disabled.
So instead of having your thumb control everything, you disperse all of that across multiple digits.
Oh, yeah, wait, no, get him. Get him. Oh, come on. Yeah! Oh, no, he's back. How did this happen?
They are literally playing Smash Brothers.
You just saw I'm not. But this controller,
it's a good choice of game.
It feels like, kind of like you're typing, or like maybe you're playing a piano. Aaron's customers send in pictures of their hands so he can get the spacing just right. The buttons come from arcade machines. He works with an artist in Brazil to design custom the picture. Aaron says helping people do what they love is amazing, and in turn, the 23-year-old loves what he does, not only making gaming entertaining, but inclusive. In Orange County, Michelle Meredith, West 2 News.
So it basically looks like the board of a arcade game, but without the joystick and with like 10 buttons.
I mean, there are already controllers for people with disabilities. One was called the Avenger, and and it released a number of years ago. A lot of people probably are familiar with it because it involved this company called Ocean Marketing that self-destructed gloriously over the period of about 2 days. It was one of the most spectacular things ever.
Gather round, children. Aria's going to tell us the legend of the destruction of whoever that was. What happened?
Ocean Marketing. Okay, so this guy ordered his controller and wanted to know why he hadn't gotten it yet. So he emailed the company. And this guy named Dave, who turned out to be like the sole proprietor of Ocean Marketing, got snarky with him. And this is a handicapped kid, right? And he goes on to threaten that he's going to sell the controllers on eBay to make a profit and all of this other nonsense. And it went on back and forth, how they were going to be at E3 and all this and PAX East. So they tagged Mike, whatever his last name is, who is the actual person who runs PAX East. They didn't tag him. They started CCing him in the emails, and Penny Arcade covered it at that point, and it just sort of exploded with the guy apologizing, his career being ruined, and the kid ultimately getting his controllers. Just Google it sometime because it's way more entertaining than that, and there's a lot to read because this guy was a total jerk, right? And it's made because all this kid wanted was, hey, we were supposed to have already received these. It's been a month. Where's my controller? And he just went totally insane on this kid. And it was memorable. Made all the worse because he's doing all of this to a handicapped kid.
Mm. Yeah, that's...
So the universe smiled that day.
Yeah, it's a good way to lose everything.
And they gave Ocean Marketing exactly what it deserved.
That is definitely a good story.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's a lot to it that I glossed over. I mean, even the summary page of it's like 2 pages on the internet.
Wow.
So there's a lot to it. But it's entertaining throughout. Especially once Penny Arcade covers it and steps in, because the guy name drops Mike, whatever his name is, the guy who runs Penny Arcade in PAX East.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I don't know you, and you're never coming to any of my events.
Because you're a douchebag.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah. It sounds like great stuff. So, yeah, it's, anyway, next.
I mean, more accessibility in gaming is certainly good, but I don't know what benefit this has over the Avengers controllers or whatever specially designed controllers there are already, because they certainly already exist. But hey, more power to the dude and to anybody using the controller.
Oh, wow. The Avenger controller. They're only $20. And they are crazy looking.
Are they? I've never actually bothered to look at one.
They are, yeah. The Avenger Reflex controller.
It does not look like what you would expect a handicapped player's controller to look like.
Well, it looks like they have the ability to push the buttons from different places on the controller than they would normally.
Ah, that's convenient. I wouldn't mind that, being able to hit X with like my middle finger that's on the back or something.
And there's a thing around the joystick thing to where you can control it with other fingers. The PlayStation controller looks like it has a stand that looks like a set of skis that it can sit on something. You can use the thing over here and you push the arms with your hand because you can't, you know, for like people with like palsy and stuff like that can't push the buttons, they can.
Very cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it would take definitely some getting used to.
Oh, sure.
You know, trying to play. That's, wow. Looks like a lot of effort was put into it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The Avenger Advantage. Huh. I'd never seen anything like it before.
And it caused one of the most glorious self-destructs you'll ever read about in gaming. Almost as bad as Jamie Kennedy at E3. Almost as bad.
Jamie Kennedy The redhead, right? The comedian that
I think he's redheaded.
It does the like I'm a white dude, I'm acting like a black dude kind of comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he got really drunk and decided that he didn't have to actually prepare anything for being at E3, the biggest gaming and technology show in the world.
Yeah.
So he just got up on stage drunk and started making a bunch of nerd jokes.
Yeah.
It did not go over well.
I bet it didn't go very well. Anyway, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, we're going to be talking about what they're now calling the Fortnite effect and how it's crushing video game companies. We'll be back with that and a whole lot more here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the final segment of this afternoon's Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Horizon.global studios here, in the Liberty Radio studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We got a story here coming to you from Yahoo Finance about the Fortnite effect and how it's having a disappointing effect on video game sales. Is this working?
It has been a dark quarter for the gaming industry. More Americans are playing than ever before, but the companies behind those big titles are running into some trouble. Yahoo Finance tech editor Dan Howley is here with the details. So let's start with the company behind the game Call of Duty, Activision Blizzard, slashing 8% of its workforce, putting out weak guidance. Are these the only headwinds that are facing the company right now?
No, these companies are really just running into trouble in terms of the fact that the industry is still very much hit or miss. It's, you have one big hit and you're doing gangbusters. You have one flop, and unlike the movie industry, which can have flop after flop and have one big win, they'll have one flop and that's it for them. They'll see the revenue hit a brick wall and just fall flat. You'll see with Activision Blizzard, they had their game Call of Duty, Black Ops 4. Didn't sell as well as they had hoped, and so the revenue was light. Then they're issuing weaker guidance going forward. Like you said, they just cut 8% of their workforce. They said they're trying to invest more into other games that they have on the Blizzard side of things, games like Overwatch, which is big in the esports arena. So it's really an issue with how these companies are doing overall with hits or misses, really.
Look, we know that gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry, but these results for Electronic Arts, for Activision, are proving that one bad game really can be catastrophic.
Yeah, there's nothing that they can do if the games come in poorly. There's a game from EA which had
everything they're saying
it was called
is
Battlefield 5. It was supposed to have a battle royale mode similar to.
It's not the game. They're making out like it's some sort of reputation problem for EA and Activision, and that's not the case at all. It's a games are too expensive to make problem, because they bloated them up to the degree that it costs $50 million, $100 million to make one of these AAA games, because the graphics have to be so shiny. And it becomes prohibitively expensive, where if they don't sell 15 million copies, then they lose money. They put themselves into this position by making the cost of game development so high that they have to sell so many copies just to break even. It's not because Kingdoms of Amalur sucked that EA isn't selling games. It's because they are selling games. And The Sims 4 proves it, and Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 4, whatever it was called, certainly proved it for Activision. The issue is that they've got to sell 12 million copies of it just to break even.
Okay. Well, and I think part of it is because of the fact that they're selling games, but they're not selling games. They're selling, part of a game.
Yeah.
Like the Injustice 2.
Oh, Nintendo is now in on it, by the way.
64 gigs. 64 gigs of downloads before I could ever play it.
The new Smash Brothers has a Fighters Pass where you get all of the new fighters as they're released. But oh, wait, except this one and this one and this one. You still have to pay for those, even if you get this $30 season pass. I'm so ashamed that even Nintendo is doing that now.
But are we really surprised? Is the question.
Kind of am.
Really?
Yeah.
Not me, man. Not me.
They've always been kind of above that sort of thing. I mean, when you bought a game for a Nintendo system, you knew when you took it home it was going to work.
Yeah, it was done.
Yeah.
You weren't going to need to let it download for 6 hours for it to work. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's no longer the case.
Yeah.
I think the biggest snub, though, is that, you buy the Fighters Pass thinking, okay, this is going to get me all of the fighters that they make in the next 6 months. And then they release one and they go, oh, yeah, this one doesn't count. You still got to pay for this one. I mean, that's the biggest screw you ever. And that's the way these season passes work. Is that, they'll give you the new outfit they designed for the character. But if you want that level pack, oh, no, you got to cough up $20, hon.
Right.
It's a mess. And they have to do that sort of thing because they're not selling as many copies as they need to break even. So they add in these season passes. Because they've...
$65 a piece, maybe.
Yeah, but they've driven up the cost so high that they have to just sell an unreal amount of them to make any money at all.
Yeah.
That's why they hate Minecraft so much. That's why they hate Fortnite so much, because it was smaller teams that put these games together, and it just made a handful of people a buttload of money. To the degree that Minecraft is the second best-selling game of all time, beaten out only by Tetris. And the only reason Tetris wins is because they include Tetris Attack and Championship Tetris and all of the different remakes of Tetris in the same category.
You got to admit, the reason Tetris wins is because even white soccer moms played Tetris.
Yeah, back in the 80s.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's the best-selling video game of all time.
But there certainly weren't 300 million people playing it back then.
No, those soccer moms wore that damn thing out and bought 4 copies of it. That's why every time they bought a new system, they were like...
Yeah, that's the issue, though, is that all of those get counted as a sold copy. They all get lumped together as just Tetris. Tetris for the N64, Tetris Attack, Championship Tetris, it all just gets lumped into the Tetris category to drive up its numbers to like 500 million copies sold or something like that. And even then, it's barely beating Minecraft.
Wow. So, anyway, back to the report here.
Fortnite. A lot of these game companies are trying to fight the Fortnite menace right now, and they couldn't do it. They let the game go out without the Fortnite feature, and it sold poorly. 1 million less games went out than they expected.
Kind of a quiet market on Wall Street late morning this Monday.
Wow. 1 million less than what was projected.
Well, people are also probably getting tired of Call of Duty. Good God, I hope people are getting tired of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
There's only a new one every 6 months.
Only 6 months?
I don't know how frequently they come out.
I thought it was like every 6 weeks.
Too many. There are too many released at too great of a frequency.
That's everything right now.
It is, yeah.
It's everything. Oversaturation of the markets. Everywhere. Car, we're just talking about oversaturation of the car market. Oversaturation. I don't know how many places I've gone into, and the TVs, they've just got racks and racks of these gigantic TVs that are the size of the screen behind you. Who even has them? Like, oh, it's only $500 down from $2,200. That should tell you something. That you bought too many.
That also tells you a lot about the development of capitalism and technology. Because these big, huge screens, they used to be just, in one person's house in the neighborhood. And it was just because, their mom had a really great credit score and bought a $6,000 TV or whatever. But slowly but surely, they became more and more available to the extent that you're kind of weird if you don't have a 50-inch flat screen.
I don't have a 50-inch flat screen.
Oh, yours is larger, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
No,
I don't even have
smaller.
a television.
And we didn't even buy it. That was given to us by somebody that was moving and didn't want to have to load it and take it with them.
Nice.
Yeah, it's old.
I need to buy a television at some point, but it's not a priority, especially at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not right now. When you need tires. That's what you need.
I'm not worried about the tires.
You need 2 tires on the front of your car so that you can get in and out of the driveway.
Well, I mean, even with brand new tires,
it's only going to be 6 more weeks before the snows are over anyway.
Right. Well, even with brand new snow tires, 7 inches of snow in a front wheel drive, my car's not getting out of it.
No. Yeah,
it just means I'll have to shovel less.
Your car's just not going to be doing a whole lot of anything. No. Anyway, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, we've got a lot of stuff lined up for you. Starting off, Colorado is writing laws about lemonade stands. We'll get into that right after this.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your Liberty Beat for Wednesday, February 13th, 2019. Gold opened today at $1,310. Silver opened at $15.66. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,575. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, 2 executives at the company that chartered the U.S. plane that was caught smuggling weapons to Venezuela last week have been tied to an air cargo company that aided the CIA in the rendition of alleged terrorists to black site centers for interrogation. The troubling revelation comes as Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has rejected a U.S. humanitarian aid convoy over concerns that it could contain weapons meant to arm the country's U.S.-backed opposition. Minpress News reports that Venezuelan authorities last week announced that 19 rifles, 118 ammo magazines, 90 radios, and 6 iPhones had been smuggled into the country by a U.S. plane that had originated in Miami. The authorities blame the United States government for the illicit cargo, accusing it of seeking to arm U.S.-funded opposition groups in the country in order to topple the current Maduro-led government. A subsequent investigation into the plane responsible for the weapons cache, conducted by McClatchy, D.C., received very little media attention, despite the fact that it uncovered information clearly showing that the plane responsible for the shipment had been making an unusually high number of trips to Venezuela and neighboring Colombia over the past few weeks. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% at checkout by using promo code SNLS. This is the Liberty Beat for Wednesday, February 13th, 2019. Your news now continues. A former United States Air Force counterintelligence agent with access to top-secret national defense information, was charged with spying for Iran after she defected to the Islamic Republic and helped it target her former colleagues. That's according to a 7-count indictment made public on Wednesday, as reported by the Anti-Media. According to prosecutors, Monica Elfriede Witt, a.k.a. Fatima Zahra, a.k.a. Nargis Witt, gave the Iranians the code name and mission of a secret Pentagon program, which involved American intelligence operations. That word comes in a report from the New York Times. Witt conducted research for the purpose of creating target packages against U.S. counterintelligence agents, and did create such packages in order to enable the government of Iran to target U.S. counterintelligence agents. That's according to Witt's indictment, which adds that she filmed anti-American propaganda in Iran. The 40th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution was marked February 8th. And at that time, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei made an effort to express Iran's geopolitical stance in simple terms, saying, quote, "We have good relations with all nations in the world. We don't want to break relations with any European nation," and explained that death to America means death to American rulers, saying that Iran has no problems with the American people. The slogan is a metaphor, as in death to U.S. foreign policy, as conducted for much of the past 4 decades. That includes the dismantling by the Trump administration of the nuclear deal with Iran, known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. In a rash rebuke of the centrist government of President Hassan Rouhani and Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif, who negotiated the JCPOA with the Obama administration, as well as Russia, China, France, the UK, and Germany, Khamenei stressed he would not have signed it. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. It's simple. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is found online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat on Wednesday, February 13th, 2019, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This is the Onion Week in Review. A Colorado man reminisced Monday about a simpler time when he only masturbated to still images on the internet. 36-year-old Timothy Barchuk, who now says he requires multiple streaming hardcore videos just to get excited, willfully reflected on the days of waiting for slowly loading images of naked women to appear.
Look at this picture of Phoebe Cates. Sure, you can pull it up in 2 seconds now. Back in the old days, you'd have to wait for it to materialize on your screen pixel by pixel. It's not about her tits, which are nice, but it's about waiting for them. Nowadays, you can pull up 8 different videos of anal sex at once. Who cares?
In local news, the person who will one day become the warlord ruler of what was once Nebraska is born in an Omaha hospital. And in other news, a man and woman get drunk and blow $30,000 in one night. A lonely college student calls up his mom to talk about Harold and Kumar, and another dead body is tossed on a heap somewhere. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Lucid.
to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It's hour 3 of your 3-hour live drive home broadcast here from Liberty Radio Studios in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, we've got some news of the absurd from politicians so stoned they think they're in the future to Colorado lawmakers thinking it's a good idea to start regulating lemonade stands. That's right. Laws for lemonade stands. This coming from Denver 360.
I'm selling lemonade.
At just 7 years old.
Want some lemonade? Well, thank you.
Ben Guffey has learned a lot about business over the past year.
Want some lemonade?
Some lessons he's willing to share.
I learned to make money.
Others not so much, like his top secret lemonade recipe.
If you can keep it a secret, I'll tell you.
Last summer, his lemonade stand was shut down by police.
They shut us down because we didn't have permits.
So his family made it their mission to change the laws. To Ben's mom, Jennifer, kids will be kids.
We technically broke the law and didn't even realize it.
She doesn't believe it should be illegal for her 3 sons to run a part-time lemonade stand.
We've recognized this situation that didn't seem right with us.
So Monday, they spent the day at the Colorado State Capitol, testifying in front of a state committee about a bill to legalize kids' businesses. Supporters say it's about promoting this entrepreneurial spirit. Tony Gagliardi from the National Federation of Independent Businesses says these skills are something that kids lack these days. But online, the reaction is mixed. Some express concerns about government overreach, while others disagree with the need for the law at all, saying it's a waste of legislative time.
Absolutely, it's the best use of our time.
But bill co-sponsor Senator Angela Williams disagrees.
We need to be educating our kids and teaching them.
Senator Williams says the bill won't cost anything and is already teaching these young business owners a lesson.
Teach them about the legislative process, too, and how we pass laws.
The city of Denver, meanwhile, is already mixing it up. The city passed its own version of the Young Entrepreneurs Bill last fall. The Denver ordinance was modeled after a similar one in Austin. New Jersey, Utah, and Wisconsin have also taken steps to protect these kids. Even Country Time Lemonade got involved, setting up a legal defense fund for kids who get in trouble. But one young entrepreneur is actually against this change. If Jack Bonneau looks familiar...
Sharks, I'm seeking $50,000 and...
This might be why.
We'd love to take your deal.
Jack's been running a permanent lemonade business for the last several years, and he says there's health and safety aspects.
Oh my God, he's 10 years old and he's already learned how to use corporatism to his advantage. He owns a regulated storefront lemonade stand, and he doesn't think other kids his age should be allowed to have regular lemonade stands in their front yards.
Shocking.
Oh, you mean that even at 8 years old, you've realized that you can use the power of the state to regulate your competition out of business?
I would hope that's not the lesson that people wanted him to learn.
Evidently it is, though.
He believes kids need to learn to play by the rules.
Obey the state.
Yes! That's what he's saying, basically, is that, well, no, if you want to have these things, then you should know what it's really like to have a business, which means that you have to kiss the state's ring. So you shouldn't just not have to just because you're younger. You should have to, if you want to learn about business. Yeah, you know what? I think that's a good idea. Let them take all the money that they made all summer long and give it to a state agent to pay for the license to do the damn thing to start with. Maybe we'll raise generations of little anarchists who are like, this is nonsense.
Clearly not.
Right? Clearly
He's
not.
enjoying the boot on his neck.
No, not on his neck. He wants to put the boot on their neck.
Well, because he's got Stockholm Syndrome about the boot on his
own neck. Yeah, exactly.
But the change would also hurt his business.
Oh, it's a future Republican.
So,
I don't mind them having lemonade stands and coming to this country. I don't like them doing it illegally without government permission.
Oh, yeah. He sounds like a little Republican right out there, right out the gate.
He is straight
so
up
this
a
bill
future
could mean more
Republican.
competition. Back at Ben's lemonade stand, his DPS teacher, who coincidentally is on strike and taking a stand of her own, stopped by his booth to support her student. So did Governor Polis, an entrepreneur himself who's already showing support for the bill. Even if it doesn't pass, though, Jennifer and her sons have learned to turn a sour situation into something sweet.
We had never even had lemonade stands prior to when we got shut down, and we would have never in our wildest dreams imagined that this is the path we would have been on. But we're still thankful for the opportunity to make a difference and help kids.
Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
How immoral does it make me that I hate this little 10-year-old kid?
Not at all.
Okay, good.
I think it's disgusting what they've done to the little boy. And you see the boy's father behind him with this pissed off look on his face that they're about to deregulate. So now his son's business won't be the only little kid. You know, like he's straight up like, I want the government to regulate my competition.
Yep. That's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that the little boy has already succumbed to this mess.
Yes.
And instead of going, you know what, none of this made any sense. Why did I have to do any of this? He's going, but I did it, and it's not fair. Other people don't have to.
Right.
Well, screw you, little kid. Life isn't fair.
We do have a caller on the line. We got Wikiweea trying to call back again. How you doing there, Wikiweea? What do you think? Why do you think it?
Oh, hey, yeah, can you hear me okay now? I'm in a more reliable Wi-Fi.
Better. Yes, much better.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I think we were just discussing the stuff about, I think you were just saying that when the British created Israel, I don't know if that would be the right word, it was kind of, they used religious sort of means to justify it.
Well, no, when the British general went into Jerusalem, he said, "Thus ends the last crusade." I mean, that's pretty direct. That's what at least that general viewed himself as a crusader.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess then, well, the reason why I was bringing the point up at all was to say that if there's no like justification for it at all, then does that mean that Muslims shouldn't see more liberal Israelis as potential kind of allies or people to cooperate with? I think it's like a few weeks older than news about something that they're calling the Basic Law, which is that they've written into law that Israel is sort of, I don't exactly remember how it's worded, but it's kind of like they've written it into law that there's an official state race.
Yes.
And a lot of Israeli sort of liberals are saying that it's racist and that shouldn't be in there. And I would kind of agree. I mean, I wouldn't want that written into the law of any country that there's an official state race. But I mean, and these people, I guess they're Zionists, or I don't know if they would identify as Zionists. But when people are criticizing that, even if they're technically kind of Zionists, doesn't that make them allies in a way? Because they're kind of really standing up to the oppression of Palestinian people.
Well, we'll have to get into that when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. If you've got an opinion, give us a call, 603-6160. We'll be right back with more.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Scary day in Virginia after a mass shooting at the offices of Slash Forward Marketing. Management described the violent scene as incredibly inopportune if the company wants to hit its sales goals.
Gunshots were first heard around 9:40 a.m. VP of Sales Ken Miller placed the first 911 call.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello? Someone is shooting everyone at our office. Can you guys do something about this? We really can't afford to lose focus right now.
The alleged shooter, Brian Henderson, a Slash Forward employee, was described by Miller as a so-so salesman and a, quote, candy ass who obviously couldn't howl with the big dogs. Slash Forward management said the company is rattled to the core by this poorly timed shooting.
It was horrible, really. But hashtag pray for Slash Forward is trending, and we are getting tons of media exposure, so I think we're going to survive.
Donations for the families of victims are pouring into the company website, as are applications for the 18 job openings listed immediately after the shooting.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
Welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Liberty Radio studio in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We got a caller on the line. We got Wickawea with us. We've been talking about the, basically his question is, with the rise of ethno-nationalism in the state of Israel, should Palestinians support what he considers liberal Zionists? And by liberal Zionists, he means that Zionists that don't believe in an ethno-state, but Zionism is the belief in an ethno-state. So you couldn't really consider them liberal Zionists. They would just no longer be Zionists. You know, once you stop believing in Israel as an ethno-state, you no longer believe in Zionism. So, I mean, it's like you couldn't really, they're no longer liberal Zionists. They're just Jewish people in Israel who happen to not, but they still, basically what they're saying is that they believe in an ethno state, but let's not make it the law, because, I mean, that looks bad.
Well, yeah, precisely, exactly. But, if you look at it from their perspective, I mean, how much more can you expect? I mean, it would be a very bitter pill to swallow for them to say, the land that I was born and raised in and my parents were born and raised in, well, it's not really ours, and let's give it away to people who are kind of not really very visible at all to them. I mean, do you think that maybe Muslims or Palestinians or Arabs as a whole should perhaps see that it's pretty nice of some Israeli liberals to be standing up to ethno-nationalism? And yeah, I see your point that they don't really want to admit the whole lot. They just want to kind of stand up on the bit where it's convenient. But I don't know. I mean, it sounds quite nice of them. Like, if somebody told me that the land I'm on right now, or the land where I was raised in and my parents were raised in, really belongs to other people who were pushed off it, many years earlier. It would be really hard to admit, especially in the environment they're in and with the pressure they have.
Well, first of all, because it would basically be a heresy to them, because to the Zionist, that land, like the Orthodox position of Judaism, doesn't matter. What matters is this modern Zionist position, which isn't even based on the Jewish religion. It's based on nationalism. It's a nationalist value system. It's one of the things that people like to call Islam is a political system masquerading as a religion. That is the largest form of projection I have ever seen in my whole life, because 90% of the time the people who say that are Zionists, and Zionism literally is a political philosophy that has convinced the entire world it is the religion of Judaism, when it's not. The Orthodox Jewish community is anti-Zionist.
Yeah, but I mean,
I would also like to point out that accepting that the land was not originally theirs doesn't necessarily involve any expectation that they're going to surrender the land or anything like that. We know our land here in the United States was not ours and that it was stolen. But
I'm still going to rent a house in Florida when I get there.
Yeah, but it is ours now.
Even though it used to be Seminole land.
Yeah, it is ours now. And, that's where the whole egoist perspective really comes into play here, and that property is really only yours if you can defend it.
And fortunately, well, and the Muslim perspective usually is like, if you're put in this position, make hijrah, leave. Like, the people of Gaza, if they have the ability to leave and find somewhere else to go that they won't be oppressed, they're supposed to do that. I mean, that's the sunnah. That's what the Prophet ﷺ did. When the people were being oppressed to the point that they couldn't take it, they went to Medina. That's a sunnah. And there's a reason it's a sunnah. And so, I mean, defending yourself is also a sunnah, but there comes a point where it's the whole lesser of two evil arguments. I mean, we can stand here and fight with kites that you set on fire against Hellfire missiles if you want, but I mean, feasibly, that's going against the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he says the believer is never humiliated, that they don't put themselves in the position to be humiliated. And if you're going to fight a full-on, fully armed army with an Air Force and a Navy, with rockets that you make out of stuff under the sink and kites that you set on fire, I'm sorry, but that is putting yourself in that position to be humiliated. That is taking on a bigger fight than you can take. And that is the point that you should look at leaving. You should look at making hijrah.
Are they able to leave?
That's the problem, is a lot of times in Gaza, they just can't. It's like an open air prison. You can't get in, you can't get out. You can't get out by boat. You can't get out, by land or sea. You're just stuck. For those people, that's one. But those people are finding ways out through tunnels for other purposes other than leaving the country. So if you can find your way out of Gaza for a tunnel to go smuggle in bags of flour or bags of ammunition, then you can use that as a means to get the hell out of Dodge.
Well, the fact that they can't leave, I mean, that's pretty much the rest of the world's fault, isn't it? I mean, particularly the surrounding countries, I thought.
Well, it's siege warfare. It's 21st century siege warfare. The Western countries are more than happy to sit back and watch the whole thing happen, just like Rwanda, because the average voter in a Western country follows a Scoville interpretation of the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel and the book of Isaiah. And that's where this whole thing came from. And these people believe with the strongest religious belief ever that Israel has to be there. The current state of Israel is some religiously ordained thing, and that if you don't support them, God will smite your country with every disease known to man and every other bad thing known to man, and that if you question Israel or what they do in the slightest bit, that you are committing a blasphemy and Jesus won't come back.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you're dealing with. And when you're dealing with religion on that level, I mean, it's just, there's really not a whole lot you can do, because you're not having a rational conversation with this person. You're literally having a religious conversation.
It's incredible when you put things that way, that these people try to portray Muslims as the kind of the more radical ones, or the people who are kind of more stuck into their religious sort of ardent beliefs and stuff.
Well, that whole thing plays into their Zionism in the first place.
Yeah,
is their conviction that Muslims are Satan.
Yeah, it's
the Antichrist.
It's the whole projection. Like, we're doing this and we're doing it in the open. Look at the Muslims. They're doing it, but they're not. But they are, because we said they are. Don't look at us. Look at them. Anyway, we got another caller on the line. Thanks for calling in, Wikiwea. We'll be back with more Great Talk Radio right after this.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.LRN.FM, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.LRN.FM and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.LRN.FM.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
Burrito, you're a magical food and you power me through my day. Breakfast burrito, you're eggy and cheesy and I hope they never take you away. Breakfast burrito, always happy to see you wrapped in your tortilla, it's true. Breakfast burrito, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with you. Yum, yum, breakfast burrito.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. The only thing better than the song is the video. That's right, a little breakfast burrito today. And there goes my phone. So we do have another caller on the line. We've got Steffi joining us from Idaho. Steffi says he's got a question about the blockchain. What's up, Steffi? What do you think? And what do you think? And why do you think it?
Hey, everyone. Thanks for taking. I'm on the air now.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for. I am nervous. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous. I get nervous on these calls. I just get so excited to be out on the air, and I say, God bless you, and thank you for taking my call and giving me this opportunity. It really does mean a lot.
Sure thing. We're glad to have you call.
Oh man, I feel like I'm going to mess up. I don't want to mess up. I feel like I'm going to say something wrong or stupid, but I'll just, we're live right now on the radio and on the Twitch and everything.
Correct.
Oh my goodness. I can't, oh man, fuck me.
Yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
We knew that was coming. Have a good day. That was easy enough. I just stood there with a finger on both buttons, you know.
I mean, he said his name was Steffi.
Yeah.
So we knew what was coming.
Yeah. So,
sorry, dude, you did not get out on any airwaves. You got out on Twitch, but we dumped you so quickly that I don't think you even completed the expletive.
No.
That you were trying to get out.
Nope, because I knew it was coming.
I mean, we have a dump button that erases the last 4 seconds.
Yeah, so.
And keeps it from going out.
So nothing that he said went on the air. Anyway, so.
Well, his excitement probably did.
Yeah, that's about it. You ever been so high you thought it was the future?
I've been so high I thought it was the past.
Well, evidently, Senator Kamala Harris, a Democrat from California who is currently running for the Democrat presidential nomination, is a latter-day convert to legalizing pot. You see, as a prosecutor and a California attorney general, she opposed legalization. Indeed, as Scott Shackford noted yesterday, in her 2014 race to become Golden State Attorney General, her Republican opponent favored legalization, a position she literally laughed at. In an interview yesterday, however, with the radio show The Breakfast Club, Harris admitted to smoking weed in college. I did inhale. Ha, 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 ha.
Herpy derp.
She said, I just broke news. And that she listened to Snoop and Tupac Shakur while getting high. Here's the problem. Kamala Harris graduated from Howard College in 1986 and from law school in 1981. Snoop Dogg, then known as Snoop Doggy Dogg, didn't actually come out until 1992, and Tupac's career didn't take off until the early 90s, when he debuted in Digital Underground's same song from the soundtrack to the 1991 film Nothing But Trouble.
Yeah, so she lied about smoking pot in college. I think it's the most likely explanation. Nobody forgets what they were listening to back in college when they were doing drugs. Nobody.
So either Harris was so stoned that she was time traveling, or she hit the bong after being in school.
I think she's just lying about having hit the bong.
Not cool for a candidate whose slogan is speaking truth, demanding justice. Most likely, she's just trying to curate a playlist that sends the right message. In this, she's hardly alone. We can recall, for instance, the way which Al Gore quickly morphed from hosting a Senate panel on porn rock in '85 to which included testimony from his wife Tipper, who headed up the Parents Music Resource Center, a group committed to combating sex, drugs, and Satanism.
I must watch this speech.
In popular entertainment.
What was it called? Sex rock or sex punk something? Well,
Porn rock.
Porn rock.
In 1985.
That's like both halves of my personality merged into one glorious thing.
I just posted a link about it in the Discord chat. So says blah 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 to becoming the most public, if unconvincing, Grateful Dead fan just a few years later. So he went from rock and roll's porno to I love the Grateful Dead, dude, in a year. In 2008, then candidate Barack Obama dictated an iPad playlist to Rolling Stone that was curiously inclusive of just about every possible demographic that might vote for him.
Shocking.
Especially in an age of forced transparency, why do politicians feel the need to do this? For a deep dive on how Kamala Harris is messaging her not-so-progressive past on a range of issues, go here, or just watch the video that we'll put in the chat room over here. A Huffington Post, among other sources, questions whether Harris was talking about what music she listened to in college or whether she was answering a more general question of what sort of music she likes. Due to crosstalk among people on the show, it's not totally clear, but HuffPost did reach out to Harris's spokesperson and asked what music she listened to in the mid-'80s. I'm sorry, came the reply, but I'm not going to be able to suss out the music she listened to 35 years ago right now. Got a lot of other stuff on my plate. Oh, but now a Republican needs to know what happened at a party that they were drunk off their butts at 35 years ago.
Well, they have to know whether or not they sexually assaulted someone. I think that's a fair demand to make of people's memory.
A person who can't remember what music she listened to in college should not be asking someone who was drunk what they were doing on a night they were drunk in college. I
think she's simply lying and has probably never smoked weed in her life or only did recently.
Oh, she didn't do it recently. Let's not kid ourselves.
I mean, that's what Al Gore did. People tend to be afraid of things they've never experienced. So Al Gore was afraid of rock. Then suddenly he listened to it and he was like, oh, this isn't so bad after all. And she was afraid of pot. Then she smoked it and she was like, oh, this isn't so bad after all.
Yeah, that's not usually how that goes, unfortunately.
I'm not aware of it going many other ways.
Politicians don't smoke weed. They just, if you're an anti-pot politician, not if you're an anti-pot politician, you don't just decide to go out and smoke some pot. You know, I've seen Pro Pop.
No, but one of her kids was probably like, you have to try it.
Mom, quit being a bitch and hit the Stubby.
Yeah.
We live in California, the first state it was legal. The hell is wrong with you? Why have you not gotten high yet? You are such a hateful bitch. Why are you not smoking weed yet? I know that if it happened, that's how the conversation went.
Yeah.
You are a battle axe. Would you please hit this joint and shut up?
On the way to pick up her kids from soccer practice.
Right. Well, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, turns out the makers of fentanyl, they've got something to say about marijuana legalization. I bet you'll never guess what it is. We'll clue you in when we get back here on the Call to Freedom's Cannabis News segment right after this.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Let's focus our discussion first on marijuana, okay? Marijuana has a very distinct smell, okay? I'm going to pass around just a little tiny bit, and I want you all to take a smell so you know when someone is smoking marijuana near you.
All right, it's time for the Cannabis News segment. Here, the final segment of this broadcast of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Coming to you live from the Liberty Radio studio. Chilly here in Keene, New Hampshire, under lots and lots of snow. So, U.S. News and World Report has a story for us here. Says the fentanyl maker donates big to campaigns that oppose pot legalization. An embattled pharmaceutical company that sells the powerful painkiller fentanyl has donated $500,000 toward defeating a ballot initiative that would make recreational use of marijuana legal under Arizona law. Hard to imagine a more sinister donor than Insys Therapeutics, Inc., in the eye of pot legalization proponents who long have claimed drug companies want to keep cannabis illegal to corner the market for drugs, some addictive and dangerous, that relieve pain and other symptoms. Insys currently markets just one product, according to an August filing with the Securities Exchange Commission, a sublingual fentanyl spray that it calls Subsys. Two former company employees pleaded not guilty last month to federal charges related to an alleged kickback scheme to get doctors to prescribe Subsys. Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan filed a lawsuit late last month against the company alleging Insys hawked the drug to doctors for off-label prescribing, saying the company's desire for increased profits led it to disregard patients' health and push addictive opioids on non-FDA approved purposes.
They never took patients' health seriously. Fentanyl kills more people in a day than cannabis has ever killed in the history of humanity.
Arizonans.
They can't care very much.
Arizonans for Responsible Drug Policy campaign manager Adam DeGuire says legalization foes will not return the donation. In a statement, he expressed gratitude and stressed that Insys is based in Arizona, unlike the Marijuana Policy Project, which has contributed substantially toward passing the initiative. A voicemail. So basically...
Yeah, but these two things are not the same. Fentanyl kills people.
Yeah, but if you smoke pot, you'll take fentanyl because reasons.
Except the research shows that you're less likely to take opiates if you smoke cannabis.
Not only does the research show that you're less likely, but it also shows that marijuana is an exit drug, not a gateway drug. It's a drug that helps people get off of drugs that are gateway drugs, like opiates. Because opiates are a gateway drug. People who've never done drugs in their lives, they get a broken something another or a sprained this or a this or a that, and the next thing you know, they have a surgery, and the next thing you know, they got a 4-year-long opioid addiction. I know, I've got family that's happened to. Had to have surgery.
Well, all of mine were on drugs first, but the same basic story.
Yeah, had to have surgery for a joint, something or another, broken, shoulders going out, needed to be replaced, something, and ended up on the meds and then stuck on the meds for years. My mom won't take them. She's in excruciating pain. They need to do a fusion in her neck. It's part of the reason why we're going to Florida is because when they go in and they cut her open, she's not going to be able to do jack for like 6 weeks. She won't take the painkillers they gave her because she's afraid she'll get hooked on them. She's afraid that she'll get addicted.
Well, I mean, it happens. It's a real threat that they pose. They are extremely addictive, especially to anybody who enjoys them. You have some people who they make them feel sick and they sort of act as depressants, but then you have an entirely different class of people for whom they give energy and happiness and warmth and fuzzy feelings and straight onto the road to addiction. Fentanyl capitalizes on it. Doctors, our modern drug dealers, they capitalize on it. Everybody wants to deal you drugs, and fentanyl is the company making them. Fentanyl isn't the company, but
the worst of them. Fentanyl is the stuff that's killing people right now.
Yeah. It's shocking numbers.
J.P. Holyoke, the chairman of the initiative backing campaign to regulate marijuana like alcohol, said in a statement that he's truly shocked by the opponent's decision to keep a donation from what appears to be one of the more unscrupulous members of Big Pharma. Holyoke says, our opponent has made a conscious decision to associate with this company. They're now funding the campaign with profits from the sale of opioids, and maybe even the improper sale of opioids. We hope that Arizonans understand that Arizonans for Responsible Drug Policy is now a complete misnomer. The entire campaign is tainted by this money. Anytime an ad airs against Prop 205, the voters should know it was bought for and paid for by highly suspect Big Pharma actors who are selling addiction to our communities.
I mean, I'm out of touch with the average person, right? But I would imagine that everybody already knows this when they see an anti-pot commercial, don't they? They already know it was bought and paid for by Big Pharma selling them death and addiction. Don't they?
By the sheriff's union, or by the police department, or by the prison guards union, or by the,
I mean, isn't that just the default assumption everybody makes? That's what I would assume until I was told otherwise.
Right.
Well, who else would be funding this? Al-Qaeda?
Right. Aria, you are hilarious sometimes, I swear. So the next big story, this one coming out of Florida, because all the best stories come out of Florida. You remember hearing about that big bust of pot gummies at school? Well, they were gummies.
They finally got the lab results back.
Yeah.
Was it cotton candy?
Not so much. Not so much weed. Here,
well, they could have ate one to figure that out.
She wants the potential punishment to change. 5 children got sick at Mulberry Middle School on November 29th. The Polk County Sheriff's Office investigated. Deputies say a bag of Green Hornet pot gummies was to blame, testing positive in the field for THC.
They had stomach aches, they were nauseous, dizzy.
A 12-year-old boy was charged with bringing drugs to school, but an FDLE report completed in January says the candy has no controlled substances. The boy's mother, Brittany Dodd, tells me prosecutors downgraded her son's charges from felonies to 2 misdemeanors, but want to keep the same punishment of probation. She thinks that is too harsh.
How old is this kid that they were trying to charge with felonies?
12.
12 years old.
Yeah, 12 years old.
Jesus.
I think he needs consequences. Me and my mom told him at the for his court date that we would accept diversion program.
Dodd says her son told her he found the gummies on the side of the road and brought them to school to try and fit in with his peers.
He told me that a few of those kids had told him before that they, that weed was cool, that this and this and this. And I told him, I said, it doesn't matter what they tell you.
I'm sorry, she
looks like
she
If you go find something on the side
weed.
of the road, that doesn't mean take it to them to try to befriend them.
She says her son never had a bad record before. This incident now forcing him to attend an alternative school.
I don't think the consequences that they're trying to give him is fair. It's not a fair case because of how it blew up and how it got out of proportion.
Dodd hopes the FDLE lab report and character letters from family and friends will help her son during their upcoming court battle. Polk County deputies say they had probable cause and will now send the gummy sample and packaging to an independent private lab for further testing to determine the ingredients of the gummies sample and what residue may be inside the packaging.
What charges? Why is this kid going to be in court now?
Because he brought pot gummies to school.
But they weren't pot gummies. And they've admitted that now. They were just gummies.
Okay, but this is the same state. Okay, all right, let me tell you a story. So my sister, she comes to Florida with my stupid-ass nephew, right? And she brings her boyfriend, who is equally stupid because he's my sister's boyfriend. And they get there, and while they're there, one of the guys in the trailer across the street from us is moving out. So while they're gone with a load of stuff one day, my nephew and another guy in the neighborhood named Mike crawl in the window and steal a bunch of stuff, including a pistol. So they call the cops, all this stuff, you know, right? Then they get my nephew and they question my nephew. And my nephew is 14 and he gives up the ghost. So my nephew tells him that the guy that robbed the place with him, his name was Mike. My sister's boyfriend's first name? Mike. So they've got a handprint of Mike. It's not my sister's boyfriend's handprint. They find the right Mike 6 weeks after they arrest my sister's boyfriend. They spend 7 months trying to get him to take a 5-year plea deal, knowing he didn't do it. This is how court systems in Florida work. It's not a new thing. Oh, there's no pot in the gummies. So we charged them with it, so we gotta follow through with it. Anyway, if you want more great talk radio, don't go anywhere. We got Free Talk Live coming up next.
Free Talk Live.
It's obvious the government expects people to pay taxes, whether or not they have a law.
They are a band of marauders. They're a violent band of thugs, and in my opinion, they're a group of strangers. I mean, if I all of a sudden wrote up an invoice for you, Robert, and send it to your house saying, you owe Free Talk Live $5,000 this year, or if you don't pay us, we're going to send some people after you to punch your face in. Would you cut me a check? I mean, because that's essentially what they're doing. That's essentially what the IRS does. They write a bunch of strangers, people they don't know, an invoice, and they include a bunch of obscure instructions that you're supposed to understand. And then at the very bottom, it says, if you don't follow these instructions to the T, we are going to charge you with a criminal offense and throw you in the clink. This is a threat. And I don't take kindly to threats. I don't know about you.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free-market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your Liberty Beat for Wednesday, February 13th, 2019. Gold opened today at $1,310. Silver opened at $15.66. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,575. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at noscale.net. In the news, 2 executives at the company that chartered the U.S. plane that was caught smuggling weapons to Venezuela last week have been tied to an air cargo company that aided the CIA in the rendition of alleged terrorists to black site centers for interrogation. The troubling revelation comes as Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has rejected a U.S. humanitarian aid convoy over concerns that it could contain weapons meant to arm the country's U.S.-backed opposition. Minpress News reports that Venezuelan authorities last week announced that 19 rifles, 118 ammo magazines, 90 radios, and 6 iPhones had been smuggled into the country by a U.S. plane that had originated in Miami. The authorities blame the United States government for the illicit cargo, accusing it of seeking to arm U.S.-funded opposition groups in the country in order to topple the current Maduro-led government. A subsequent investigation into the plane responsible for the weapons cache, conducted by McClatchy, D.C., received very little media attention, despite the fact that it uncovered information clearly showing that the plane responsible for the shipment had been making an unusually high number of trips to Venezuela and neighboring Colombia over the past few weeks. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant